Welcome to The Beat with CQ Roll Call. Today's beat, defense. We'll be talking with CQ reporter John Donnelly about the future of the Afghanistan war, the F-35, and budget cuts. Welcome to the show. So, President Obama and Secretary Gates are talking about cutting the defense budget. How are those cuts going over on the Hill?
Well, it depends on who you ask. Buck McKeon, who's the chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, a Republican from California, in an op-ed piece in USA Today, said it will open the door to calamity and chaos. So according to him, it's not a good idea, and many Republicans are concerned about it. What Obama wants to cut is about $400 billion over about 12 years in the defense budget, which sounds like a lot of money, but it's about $33 billion a year. Still sounds like a lot of money, but in the context of the overall defense budget, it's about, say, 5% if you include the cost of the wars. And he hasn't given the details on how he wants to do that yet. So it's still to be determined how it's going to unfold.
Now, one of the areas that we've talked about cuts specifically is ground troops and reducing the number of ground troops. Who are the key players on that?
Well, that is a concern for pretty much everybody who has an oversight role on the Defense Department. You have on the table a proposal to reduce the size of the Army and the Marine Corps, but starting in fiscal 2015. So we're a few years off from the debate really beginning in earnest, and yet you're already hearing howls of protest from lawmakers on the defense committees. Basically, this ties very much into the budget debate, because you cannot get real savings in the defense budget unless you reduce the number of people because of the cost of paying them and giving them benefits and whatnot. And for all the facilities and everything else that's overhead that's associated with them. And so it's a big part of the drive to reduce the budget overall is reducing the manpower.
Now, the Afghanistan conflict has lasted pretty much longer than any other military engagement we've had. How does the death of Osama bin Laden affect the sort of end game scenario?
Yeah. I think it will have a big psychological effect on the debate. I think it's going to be more evolutionary than revolutionary. I think you'll see it happening in a member or two at a time. But I think that we went into that war with the aim of getting bin Laden and the people who harbored him, to the extent that bin Laden's, not only that bin Laden's gone, but also that there are very few al-Qaeda still left in Afghanistan. It becomes harder and harder to make the case that this is worth the cost, the human cost and the physical cost. And so you're going to see more and more pressure for Obama to get out faster than he wants. Remember, he wants to start withdrawing U.S. troops in July, right around the corner, and he wants to finish the job, for the most part, in 2014. So he's got a plan for withdrawing, but it's not fast enough for some on Capitol Hill.
The other area that they're having some debate on is the cost of the F-35. What's causing that cost to go up, and is there any call for us to just not have an F-35?
This is the most expensive weapon program in U.S. history. $380 billion approximately to develop and procure about 2,400 of these planes, which would be used in different variants by each of the military services. The price per plane has almost doubled in the 10 years, almost 10 years that it's been a program. There are not too many people calling for the outright cancellation of the program. A big part of the problem is it's really the only new fighter that's in development. There aren't that many people, however, saying let's get rid of the program because it's, again, the only thing that's there. There are people saying let's buy fewer. Let's not, for example, buy the Marine Corps variant, which has had a lot of troubles. The President's Fiscal Commission recommended not buying the Marine Corps variant.
Okay. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.